Hello students, welcome once again to online teaching program for standard 9th subject English. Myself Mrs. BJ Kulkarni from JDC Bitco English Medium High School, Nasik Road. Today we are going to learn Unit 2.5 Autumn. This is a very beautiful poem written by Kalidas. This is a short and beautiful poem. Here, Kalidas has personified autumn with beautiful images of nature. As we all know, children, that Kalidas was the greatest of Sanskrit dramatists. He was the greatest poet and the first great name in Sanskrit literature after Ashwaghosha. This is a very beautiful poem, especially which focuses on the nature. Let us learn more about this. This is a beautiful poem. The name of the poem is Autumn. This has been translated by Arthur William Ryder, who was a professor of Sanskrit at the University of California, Berkeley. He is best known for the translation of number of Sanskrit works into English, which included the Panchatantra and the Bhagavad Gita. So this is a very beautiful poem, especially by the nature, which has been translated by Professor Arthur Ryder. This is a beautiful poem about autumn. In this poem, Kalidas, the great Indian poet, has described autumn as a gentle, fair, graceful maiden. Let us see what is the central idea of the poem. Kalidasa, one of the greatest Indian poets of all time, and his works of poetry will be forever remembered as long as the glimpses of words and literature will be alive in the world. Autumn is a beautiful poem personifying nature as a beautiful young maiden. The autumn season that gives birth to fresh nature and is compared to a beautiful, graceful young girl who will soon become a lady. The observer of this beautiful nature is like an eager lover who is waiting for the beautiful lady, which is similar to the beauty of nature in the form of autumn season. So children, this was a beautiful poem and the central idea of the poem. As we can see, the beautiful autumn season is described by Kalidas. Let us see the first stanza. The autumn comes a maiden fair, in slenderness and grace, with nodding rice stems in her hair and lilies in her face. In the flowers of grasses she is clad. Clad means, children, clothes she has worn. And as she moves along, birds greet her with their cooing glad, like a bracelet's tinkling song. In the first stanza, we can see autumn has been personified with a beautiful description of nature in the poem by Kalidasa. He further says that the autumn season is like a beautiful girl or just like an unmarried woman. The poet says that the season autumn arrives in the slenderness and grace, which means the season arrives like a slender or slim, fair and a graceful maiden. The author further describes that she has nodding, that means swaying rice stems in her hair and lily flowers on her face. She is dressed in a beautiful flower manner. Autumn is just like a maiden and she is dressed with flowers and grasses. And when she moves around, Birds greet her gladly with their beautiful tinkling sounds of bracelets. In short, the poet says that the season autumn arrives like a slender, fair, and graceful maiden. She has swaying rice stems in her hair and lilies on her face. She is dressed with flowers and she moves along. When she moves, the birds too greet her very gladly with a cooing sound. This cooing sound, according to the poet, is just like a tinkling song of a bracelets. So, in the first stanza, the poet has very beautifully explained the nature along with the autumn season. Let us see the second stanza. In the second stanza, the poet has described autumn with a beautiful moonlit form. He says that a diadem adorns the night of multitudinous stars. Her silken robe is white moonlight, set free from cloudy bars, and on her face bewitching smiles are shown. She seems a slender maid who soon will be a woman grown. In the second stanza, the poet says, he describes that during the night, the autumn wears a beautiful crown of countless stars. The poet wants to say here that the white moonlight falls her silken robe, which appears to set free from the patches of the clouds. The poet has beautifully described autumn's face, which is very bright, shining when she smiles in a very bewitching manner, that means very chanting manner. It seems to be a slim young girl who is soon grown into a maiden. In this stanza, the poet also wants to describe, and he says that when the autumn season is just beginning, it is just like a tender maiden. And as the season progresses and settles down on the earth in a very proper manner, the autumn becomes a full grown woman. It focuses or it implies that time has passed and the season has progressed. In short, the poet wants to explain the autumn season during night, who wears a crown of countless stars. The white moonlight forms her silken robe, which appears to be set free from the patches of the clouds. According to the poet, the face of the autumn is very beautiful, which is shining very brightly. When she smiles, it seems that she is just like a very young, slim girl who will very soon grow into a woman. Now let us see the appreciation of the poem as we write for all the poems. And we are also going to see the figures of speech. Appreciation and figure of speech you are going to write in your homework notebook. As the poet is describing the nature and the autumn season in his poem, he has used variety of figure of speeches in the poem. Let us see those figure of speech which adds a musical tune to the poem. The first is metaphor. You have already studied different types of figures of speech in your previous class. Let us see what is this. A metaphor is a figure of speech that compares two things by saying one thing is to the other thing. Here various examples are given. See children, if you can see. In the picture you can see few examples. He has the heart of a lion. The meal was 9 rainbow of flavors. That means whatever meal was prepared, it had a variety of flavors. You are the sunshine of my life. These are the examples which shows the comparison between two things, like one thing to the other. Same manner, let us see what are the examples related to metaphor in our poem Autumn. The examples from the poem are: the autumn comes a maiden fair. Now here the autumn season is indirectly compared with a fair or a maiden fair. The next example, her silken robe is white moonlight. The robe is compared to a white moonlight, we can say. And the third is, the diadem adorns the night of multitudinous stars. The diadem, that means the crown, which adorns the night, which decorates the night with multitudinous stars, that means many stars. So these are the examples of metaphor which is given in the poem. The second figure of speech used in the poem is onomatopoeia. This is a figure of speech in which different words are used by the poem in the poem which imitate the different sounds. For example, the sounds are given here: buzz, honk, zip, fizz, ding, dong, or variety of sounds which are reflecting in the poem. That figure of speech is known as onomatopoeia. Let us see few examples from the poem. Birds greet her with their cooing glad, like a bracelet's tinkling song. Cooing and tinkling are the words which express sounds in the line. These sounds or these words which are expressing sounds which attract the readers, and they focus especially on the poem, because this is a poem specially based on nature. So we come to know here through this figure of speech that different types of sounds which are expressed in the poem. Children, you must be knowing about tongue twisters. In fact, you have many times. Here are few examples. Let us see. She sells seashells on the seashore. Second example is in Hindi. चंदू की चाची ने चंदू के चाचा को चांदी के चमचे से चटणीच्या खाई. And the third example is, काकूंनी काकांच्या कामाचे कागदपत्र कपाटातून काढले. These are few examples of tongue twisters. All the three examples I have given in 3 languages. This is a very good example of figure of speech of alliteration where sounds are repeated. In the first example, sound S is repeated many times. In the second example, ch, that means C sound is repeated frequently. And in the third example, K sound is repeated again many times. These sounds are repeated in the poem in order to focus on the particular, I will say, point. So many times the poet keeps using varieties of figures of speech, especially alliteration is one of figure of speech. Let us see some examples of that. So alliteration is a figure of speech where sounds, that means starting sounds of the lines, are repeated again and again for the readers to focus, to wait what the poet wants to say while reading the poem. Let us see some examples from the poem. Set free from cloudy bars. Now here F sound is repeated twice. Second example is given. She seems a slender maid who soon. The line is given incomplete here. That means S sound is repeated again and again. 3 times it is repeated. 4 times, sorry. The third example is, we will be a woman grown. Now here W sound is repeated again and again. Especially when the readers, they read the poem, while reading the poem, when the same sound is repeated again and again, the readers, they take a pause while reading and they keep reading the lines again and again, so that the poet wants, the main idea of the poet behind this is that by using figure of speech alliteration is that he wants to make the readers wait and focus on the lines. On the other hand, a musical tune is also added to the poem. So the figure of speech here, what we have learnt is alliteration, where sounds are repeated very pleasingly again and again. The next figure of speech we can see here is, it means the reversal of normal word order of a sentence. That means a version of the writer words order. In fact, they write however they want for create a certain effect. The poets specially, they keep writing the words, they keep giving the words in a jumbled manner, and it is left out to the readers that they have to rearrange it in a proper sequence, in a correct sequence. In fact, incorrect words which are given in the line many a times, which are used in the line many a times by the poet purposely, again to focus the readers while reading the poet. Here examples they have given here. Hungry I am. Actually, hungry I am. Incorrect prose order is given here. Actually, it can be, or the correct order, it can be like that. I am hungry. Wonderful Miss Tran is. Miss Tran is wonderful. We can say like that. Scholars you are. This is again incorrect words which are given here. Actually, it can be like that. You are scholars. So such type of jumbled words or incorrect words are purposely inserted in the lines by the poet in order to focus on the theme for the readers. So this figure of speech is known as inversion. Let us see some examples from the poem. In the flowers of grasses she is clad. Now here the correct order can be she is clad in flowers of grasses. Birds greet her with their cooing glad, like a bracelet's tinkling song. Now here incorrect prose order is given. Let us see what is the correct one. Birds greet her with their glad cooing, like a bracelet's tinkling sound. And the third example used by the poet in the poem is will be a woman grown. So again this is an incorrect prose order. The correct can be will be a grown woman. So such type of figure of speech where jumbled words are given, in fact incorrect prose order is used purposely by the poet in the poem for the readers to focus or to stress on the theme or to stress on the particular line. That particular figure of speech is known as inversion. Figure of speech is personification. Here we can say that human quality is given to inanimate things, that means non-human things or non-living things. We can say few examples are given in front of you. The leaves dance on the wind. Now the human quality of dancing is given to the wind so that the leaves can dance. The second example is given here. The angry sore was visible. You can see in the picture the severe wound, you can see which is personified, or human quality is given to the wound which is very angry. We can say it is a very deep wound, we can see in the picture. The third example is given here. My heart was competing with my head. My heart, pictures are given here. Human quality of competing with each other, like heart and the brain is competing with each other. So this particular human quality is given or is personified, we can say. So this particular type of figure of speech is known as personification, where human quality is given to inanimate things. Again I will say to focus on the theme of the poem. Let us see few examples from the poem. With nodding rice stems in her hair. Now here rice stems have been given human quality of nodding. Usually human beings, we nod, isn't it, our head. So here rice stems are given human quality of nodding. Second example is given. In flowers of grasses she is clad. Now autumn has been given human quality of dressing up in a very beautiful and in a very different manner, in a very unique manner, we will say, where she is wearing, in fact the autumn season is wearing a beautiful dress of flowers. The third example we can say as she moves along. Now again the autumn has been given human quality of moving along from one place to another. So such type of figure of speech is known as personification. Now let us see the appreciation of the poem Autumn. We have already discussed for many poems. Now we are going to write the appreciation in the paragraph format. The poem Autumn is actually written by Kalidasa in Sanskrit. The Sanskrit professor Arthur W. Ryder has translated it in English. So here we have covered 2 points, the title of the poem and the poet's name. For that we will have 1 mark each. The third point is rhyme scheme. The poem has 2 stanzas. The rhyme scheme of the first stanza is AB, AB, CD, CD, and second stanza is EF, EF, G, G, G and G. Here again we have 1 mark. The fourth point is my favorite line. Now here the favorite line of the students will differ from one student to another. So here my favorite line for the poem Autumn is, birds greet her with their cooing glad like a bracelet's tinkling song. You have to explain why you like the line. I like it because the birds sing sweetly in autumn season. So these were the 4 points we have written. 4 marks, 1 mark each for the appreciation. Let us see the 5th point, that is central idea or the theme of the poem. The poet describes the phenomena in the autumn season by comparing it with a beautiful girl. The poet describes the daytime scene in the first stanza by telling the readers that the autumn brings happiness with it. The rice crop gets ripened, lilies bloom, birds make sweet sounds, the grass is covered with flowers. Then in the second stanza, the author compares the autumn season with beautiful night by describing the scene. At night, in the autumn, the sky becomes more clear. The stars and the moon look more brighter and clearer than they look in the previous season. Thus, the central idea of the poem is that when the autumn season is just in its beginning stage, it is just like a tender maiden, and as the season progresses and settles down in the proper manner on the earth, she becomes a full-grown woman. That means in the second stanza he explains, it implies that the time has passed and seasons has progressed a lot. So this is a central theme of the poem, where the poet describes the beautiful maiden, a tender maiden in the first stanza, whereas the grown woman in the second stanza, that means the autumn at night in the second stanza. Here the marks for this point is 2 marks. The next point is 6th point is figures of speech. The poet has used many figures of speech such as alliteration, simile, metaphor, personification and inversion. But the poet has used here onomatopoeia, the example of which is, birds greet her with their cooing glad like a bracelet's tinkling song. In this line, the words cooing and tinkling creates a musical sound which adds a musical tune to the poem. So for this point we have 1 mark. The 7th point is special feature of the poem. For this point we have again 2 marks. The special feature of the poem is its strong imagery, many lines, which creates images in our mind about the daytime, that means the beginning of the autumn season, which is just representing like a tender maiden. The language is also very simple to understand. The tone of the poem is very joyful. It is an example of metamorphical poem. The various happenings from the nature are shown beautifully in the poem. Various happenings, how the season progressed right from the first tender maiden to the second stanza, that means how the season progressed till the grown up woman. So these are the special features which the poet has tried to put in forth of the readers. So for this special feature, this point we have 2 marks. The last point is why I like the poem. This point has 1 marks, or it contains 1 mark. I like the poem because it connects the readers to the nature and makes knowledgeable about the happenings in the season. how the season progress, how the season begins, it ends, and how it progresses, it settles down on the earth. What are the changes in the nature outside? It tells us and increase our knowledge about the nature and about the happenings on the earth. So I like the poem very much. I hope, children, you must have understood the appreciation and the poem very clearly. Now you are going to write the figures of speech as well as the appreciation in your homework notebook.